Hello and welcome back to English for You. It's day 2 and I'm Seb.
I'm Chickling.
And we are talking about photographing food, about snapping pictures of food and turning those pictures into our bread and butter.
Oh.
So, what happened? I gave you a bit of a recap in that sentence, but what else happened in day 1? What were we talking about in more detail?
So, well, we actually learned that there's a lot more to photographing food than you might have thought. There's so much more.
It's not just hitting a button. It's not just lifting up your phone and going and snapping a picture. No, in fact, some people have turned it into a full-time job. And that's not just because they take nice pictures. It's because it's a very difficult job to do. We saw that it wasn't as simple as it sounds, was it? It's not quite as easy as we might think. So did we see any examples of that, of why it's difficult to take pictures of food?
Take a burger, for example. To make it look appealing to the customers, the stylist might want to make it tower over the plate.
Right. You see these pictures and they look big and they kind of jump off the table at you. And you don't always see that when you actually get the burger in front of you. And you definitely don't see it when you take a picture of the burger. So to do that, they have to prop it up. To prop something up means to kind of lift it up by supporting it on something else. They prop it up with sponges, chemical sprays. One woman said that she uses a lot of pins, like sewing pins, and sticks them in the burger. So you can't actually eat this burger because you'll cut your mouth. Anyway, we're going to learn more about the art of food styling today. And today it's not just going to be photos, it's also going to be learning about how food makes it into the movies. Exciting. So let's find out a little bit more about our Day 2 article.
Reading.
Food stylists make tasty photos their bread and butter. While food styling for photos is one game, food styling for film is another. Often, when a movie needs to have large amounts of food in the background, the film crew will use fakes. These are normally made out of plastic or foam. However, at some point, an actor has to bite into a slice of real pizza. When that happens, the audience's mouths need to water. To create this effect, food stylists use a number of creative techniques and substitutes. Ice cream, which quickly melts, is often replaced with balls of butter covered in sugar. Fake oysters are made out of pudding and food coloring. When food stylists aren't thinking of clever false food solutions, they're slaving away in the kitchen. Cameramen often need to take the same shots hundreds of times. That means if you're asked to make a cake for a movie, you're not making 1, you're making 50. Whether you're taking photos or making movies, food styling is both stressful and hard work. One thing it'll never be is a piece of cake.
Alright, so our article starts off by saying, while food styling for photos is one game, food styling for film is another.
Yes. So style. I mean, you've seen the word style quite a few times now in this article, but let's recap what the verb to style means. When we style something, we arrange it or make it look nice by making it look a certain way. So one of the ways you'll see the word style often is to style your hair. When you get your hair cut, you might get it styled. So the hairdresser puts in wax or gel or hairspray or curls your hair. They make it look a special way. They style your hair. But there are also people who pay stylists. Remember, we saw that word in day 1. They pay stylists to style their clothes or style their look. And they choose their clothes so they look really nice for certain events. So celebrities do this a lot. If they don't have time to do like a lot of shopping, they'll have a professional choose their clothes for them. Now here's an example sentence of style now. Before her wedding day, my sister got her hair styled. I know a lot of people definitely do that. And while we're on the subject of style and hairstyles, hairstyle itself is also a noun, and a hairstyle is just a specific way that your hair is made to look when it is styled. All right, so what else can we say about style, Chickalin?
所以我们知道说这个 style 它是动词嘛，那它可以为谁做造型，尤其是把什么东西设计得很吸引人。那我们看一个句子 She really knows how to style her hair 它代表说这个人很会造型自己的头发。那我们这边看到一个 one game blah 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 another 这边是老师刚刚有提到说这个 one game 怎么样怎么样，然后后面有一个 another 代表两者相差很多的意思，我们在做比较。所以食物的照片设计跟食物的影片设计是完全不一样的事情哦。
Often when a movie needs to have large amounts of food in the background, the film crew will use fakes, right? So if you've ever seen, for example, some Christmas movies, you know, when they're kind of up in the North Pole, or, you know, the elves are working in the shop and they pull out all of these cakes, or in a big bakery and you see hundreds of cakes in the background. You don't need to make those because you need so many, you need such large amounts of food in the background, right?
好，我们看一下 large amounts of something 这边 amounts of 就是某种数量，那是加不可数名词哦。那么老师刚刚讲到 large amount of something 是大数量的，所以很多。如果是用可数名词，我们就要 number 变成 a large number of something or a small number of something 就要加可数名词，所以记得 amount of 是加不可数。所以当一部电影需要很多食物当背景的时候呢，剧组就要使用假的食物。
So in this case, in some movies, we have large amounts of food. We could also say tons of food in each picture. So what do we do in that case? Well, they might use fakes. Now, fake is a noun. You might know it as an adjective, but it can be a noun too. And a fake is something that looks real but isn't. So have you ever been on vacation and seen people selling expensive designer handbags or expensive designer clothes on the street and they say, oh, buy this, it's just $1, $2, it's very cheap, but it's real Gucci. Well, those things aren't real. No, they are fakes. They are made to look like the real thing, but they are made of cheaper materials. So similarly in the article, fake food is not real. It could be made of plastic or foam or some other man-made substance, which is cheaper and easier to you can make it once and you can leave it in the back of the room for 8 days and it will still look the same, you know?
I know.
Fake food. It's because it's easier to make 500 pieces of fake food than it is to make 500 real dishes. So let's have a quick look at an example sentence for fake now. Roberta spent $500 on that Rolex watch. So she was shocked when she found out it was a fake.
It's illegal to do that, actually.
It is. She got conned.
Right, so 我们老师刚刚讲那个字 con 我们讲一下哈，是一个被骗的意思，被欺骗了。好，所以 fake 是当名词假货，那我们可以说 this painting is a fake， 代表说这个画是假的。那老师刚刚又提到，当形容词大家应该都知道就是虚假的，那么当动词也可以有伪造或者是假装的意思。那我们造两个句子。People often give fake personal information when setting up website accounts. I do that all the time.
Right.
I used to do that when I was little. Okay, 那我们造另外一个。Garrick isn't...
Like your age.
Yeah. Garrick isn't really sick. He's just faking it. 代表他是假装的啦，他没有生病。
He's faking it. And if you're using British English, you could say that he is fibbing. Fibbing is...
Fibbing.
To fib is a British way of saying to lie.
F-I-B?
F-I-B, to fib. So next line of the article. These are normally made out of plastic or foam. So made out of... That's talking about the construction, right? Yeah.
Okay, so be made out of 就是由什么制成的哦。譬如说we lived in tent made out of old plastic sheet. 我们住在用很旧的塑料布制成的帐篷里面。那我们还看到另外一个单字 foam.
Foam, right. Now, foam is a noun and... Foam can be a few things, but in the article, we mean a soft material that has lots of holes in it. We use foam in a lot of things, but car seats and mattresses are two good examples of things that have foam in them. You'll notice when you sit on a car seat, unless it's a leather one, that it is very soft and it kind of sinks in when you sit down on it. And that's because it has foam inside, which has lots of little bubbles of air inside, which makes it kind of squishy and comfortable. So here's an example sentence. This chair was made using a soft foam. It's so comfy, it's so comfortable, I don't want to stand up. So foam can mean a couple of other things too. We can also mean a thick liquid with bubbles in it. So, for example, the top of a milkshake, for example, or the top of a beer sometimes can have foam on it. Or when you're washing dishes, there can be foam or suds on the top of the water. And if we talk about someone who's extremely, extremely angry, I'm sorry, Chicklin, I'm stepping on your vocab word here.
We
can say that someone is foaming at the mouth. We're using it as a verb there. You know?
Keep going. Yeah.
Super angry.
I'm so glad you're talking about
I'll
it.
just teach your part of the article too then. Okay.
I like that. Okay, so I don't have to talk. Okay. So foam 我们刚刚讲的是泡沫橡胶或海绵橡胶的意思。那么 foam 呢，老师刚刚提到当动词，其实当名词有泡沫的意思，当动词有起泡沫 or like 口吐白沫。So 我们直接找一个例句来看 ，The beer foamed over the top of the glass， 代表这个啤酒的那个气泡呢已经满出来了。
I like the sound of that.
I know. OK， 那我们来看一下，老师刚刚讲到说一个人很生气，我们可以说 when somebody is foaming at the mouth， 代表他很生气，或者是其实你吐白沫也是可以直接用这一个片语，比如说。She was foaming at the mouth when she heard the news. So that means she was extremely angry when she heard the news.
Extremely angry. And do you know where that comes from? That's actually from rabies. There's a disease.
Yeah, 狂犬病.
Yes, and it makes foam come out of your mouth, and people kind of look crazy when they have it. And so that's where that expression comes from. Anyway, back to the article. We're not talking about rabies and foaming at the mouth. We're talking about food, remember? And it says, however, at some point, an actor has to bite into a slice of real pizza. When that happens, the audience's mouths need to water. Now, we're using water as a verb there to mean to drool. So the director wants people watching the movie, watching that actor bite that pizza to think, oh my God, I wish I could eat that pizza. I'm so hungry for that pizza.
所以我们知道说，虽然背景的食物是假的，但是演员你吃的时候还是要吃真正的披萨嘛，所以他们咬下去其实要达到观众可以流口水的程度。这边的 water 是当动词，流口水。好，那我们看一下文章中继续说了什么。So, to create this effect, food stylists use a number of creative techniques and substitutes. 那我们这边看到 a number of 是一个一些的意思，所以加上可数名词不要忘记哦。So let's take a look at the vocabulary word effect.
Effect, right. Now, effect, remember, we're talking about the noun effect with an E, not the verb affect with an A. Now, an effect is the result of something happening. In the article, we are talking about a type of special effect, something visual that makes food look a certain way. But effect can be used in other ways too. Think about when you're in a massive argument. The things that you say could have an effect on someone else. It's not a visual effect here. It could affect your relationship or, well, that's the verb form, but it could have an effect, have an effect on your relationship. It could make you upset or it could damage the way you communicate with this person. Here's an example sentence using that. The argument had a terrible effect on their relationship. So after the argument, they weren't as good friends as they were before. And one other way we can use effect is the word side effect. Now, side effect is something we talk about in medicine, and that's when you take a pill, maybe to make your stomach feel better. It might affect you in a different way too. It might give you a headache or it might make you sleepy. Those are called side effects.
副作用。
Yes.
OK， 我们来看一下 effect 这一个字，它是名词，有效果、结果的意思。那么老师刚刚说 side effect, that's when what happens when you take medicine sometimes. 那我们看到药效，你就可以说 the effects of medicine. 那么 effective 这一个形容词有有效的意思。那么再造一个句子哦 ，Preventive measures are more effective than the actual treatment. 所以预防措施比实际治疗更加的有效。
And we also saw the word techniques. Now, techniques is a noun, and a technique is a way of doing something. Often we use techniques to talk about the way works of art are created or the ways that products and buildings are made and built. People make them in different ways, so they use different techniques. You could also use different techniques to solve math problems or win arguments. You could use techniques of persuasion to convince someone, for example. Now, here's an example sentence of technique as we saw it in the article. Cindy used a clever technique to convince her mum to let her go to the party. She said that she would do extra chores the following day.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, so that's a case of another expression here. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. If you help me in this way, I'll help you in that way. That's a very good technique for convincing people to do something for you. So we can also use technique as an adjective by saying the word technical. That's the adjective form. And that's something that is relating to machines or involves a lot of details and steps. So a technical explanation, for example, is not a simple explanation. It's got lots of do this, then do that, then do that, then do that. And lastly, we could use it as an adverb and say technically. And that means in theory or it should be like this. So technically, I have to get to work at 9 a.m., but my boss is okay with me getting to work at 10 a.m.
Right.
So yeah, I should, but I don't have to. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about translation for that. I think it's 跟着规则上来说我必须怎么样，但其实我可以怎么样。所以 technically speaking 我们常常其实口语很常讲到。好，那我们来看一下 technique 这一个字，它是技巧、技术的意思。那老师刚提到的 technical 它是一个技术的，它是形容词哦。那我们再造一个句子。This book is all Greek to me since it is written in technical terms. 因为它写的太技术了，所以完全看不懂。Is all Greek to someone 就是 you don't understand it at all.
Exactly. Because few people can understand Greek.
So 我们来看一下substitute. Substitute 是一个在这边当名词是替代品，你可以当动词哦。
So next in the article we read, ice cream, which quickly melts, is often replaced with balls of butter covered in sugar.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's very, well, you know, when we've been filming it in English for you as well in the filming studio and for A+, those lights are very hot. So if you put an ice cream there, it melts. Anyway, back to the article. Ice cream, which quickly melts, is often replaced with balls of butter covered in sugar. Fake oysters are made out of pudding and food coloring. And I actually heard that that's because a lot of actors hate eating oysters.
Oh, I don't like
raw
oysters.
I love oysters.
Okay.
But lots of people don't like eating them, but they're in scripts a lot. They're asked to eat them a lot. So they make them out of pudding.
I like pudding. Okay, so 我们来看一下这个片语 replace A with B 意思就是用 B 去取代 A 那我们就可以知道说因为冰淇淋太快就融化了所以就会用奶油球来代替哦那么我们文章中用的是被动的用法 be replaced with something 那么我们看一下 Oysters 它就是牡蛎那通常这些牡蛎它就是布丁啊或者是食用色素做成的
So when food stylists aren't thinking of clever false food solutions, they're slaving away in the kitchen. I see. Sounds like hard work. So first they need to think of clever false food solutions. Now, a solution is an idea or method that fixes a problem. Food stylists must think of solutions whenever there is a tricky or confusing problem that they have to get around. We could also talk about the best solution to do something, and that's just the best way of doing something, or the best answer to a problem. Now, here's a quick example sentence. Scientists haven't found a solution to the planet's climate change problems yet. It's because we haven't fixed that, and we really need to, don't we?
Yeah, we do. 好，我们看一下 solution. So solution 是解决办法的意思。那么它是一个名词。好，那么另外造一个句子。I finally came up with the solution to the problem. 我终于想到解决办法了。那么一样，它的动词是 solve， 就是解决的意思哦。譬如说 She is good at solving complicated math problems. 她很会解决这些很难的数学问题。好，那么我们又看到另外一个片语。Slaving away 我们大家应该觉得这样蛮熟悉这个 slave 这一个字它其实是奴隶的意思嘛 So when you slave away that means you work so hard 你必须一直工作好所以如果食品造型师没有办法想出很好的假的食物解决的方式就必须在厨房卖命工作了 And let's find out why in the next line of the article Why? Because cameramen often need to take the same shots hundreds of times.
Right, we were just talking about this, weren't we? There was a scene in one movie where the actress Meryl Streep had to cut a chicken while she was having an argument. And for that shot, they had to roast that chicken 50 times. They had to make 50 roast chickens for that. And that's what we hear in the next line of the article. That means if you're asked to make a cake for a movie, you're not making one, you're making 50.
Okay.
So yeah, they often have to make loads and loads and loads of food just to make these shots work.
对，为什么要这样？因为摄影师一进就要拍好几次。意思就是说呢，如果电影里面只会出现一个蛋糕，你不能只做一个，你可能要做50个，因为你不可能只会拍一次嘛。
So whether you're taking photos or making movies, food styling is both stressful and hard work. One thing it'll never be is a piece of cake. And that right there, a piece of cake, is our pocket phrase go. It's a tasty one, and it's not actually got that much to do with cake, so let's find out what it means. And then let's come back for our For You chat.
Pocket phrase go!
大家好 I am Dora 爱冒险的朵拉又来啦。别看我是个小女孩，我从小呢跟着爸爸妈妈在丛林里探险，什么野生动物还是奇异的植物，我都不害怕的啦。我们呢现在要一起去寻找失落的国度。It is a piece of cake compared to some of the adventures I have had before. 跟我以前有过的冒险比起来，这个只能算是小菜一碟啦。A piece of cake 一块蛋糕一下就吃完啦，所以呢也就表示轻而易举的事情，小菜一碟咯。相信这个片语学起来对你来说呢也是 a piece of cake 小事轻而易举的事情啦。
For You chat.
So, all right, that's welcome to our For You chat question for today. What is your favorite food movie? And what challenges do you think the food stylist faced when they made it?
Okay, well, actually, my favorite food movie is an animated movie. It's Ratatouille, which I think is called Liao Li Shu Wang. It's a Disney movie, so it's actually all animated, but it's all about French cooking and a mouse who learns to cook and becomes a famous chef. So that one I love. In fact, I learned how to make ratatouille because I watched that movie. But there's not that many challenges. I know that another movie I saw called Julie and Julia, which is about a woman in 2002 who cooks every single recipe in the world's biggest cookbook as part of a self-challenge, which really happened, actually. It's a real story. That one is all food, and I know that one was very, very difficult to make because they had to use fake food, they had to style food, they had to make food out of plastic, they had to they had like 3 kitchens on set for people to just cook. So that was a very challenging movie for them to make. What about you, Chicklin? I know you like watching some food TV shows,
Like
don't
some
you?
cooking shows.
Yes, like cooking shows.
Sometimes, because I like cooking. Well, when I have free time, but normally I don't. But so I spend time watching American cooking shows, and I think it's pretty fun because I get to see like how good they are at cooking, and they're so good at like making their food look so good, like with the presentations and all that.
Right.
Yeah, but the chefs are kind of picky. Even if, I mean, the judges. Even if they cook so well, they still gonna have something to say. So, yeah, but I enjoy watching the show. Have you watched that? Chopped and MasterChef?
I love Chopped. Chopped is one of my favorite cooking shows.
Okay.
I really love Chopped. I cannot imagine doing it. Oh, and Nailed It, I think, is one of the best cooking shows out there.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
It's a show where they get people who can't cook to do really difficult cooking challenges in very short amounts of time. You guys should check it out. It's on Netflix. And it is... Yeah, it should be available in Taiwan, so you guys can check it out. It's called Nailed It. And it's on Netflix. Anyway, that is all the time we have. We're talking about food too much, and we're getting ourselves hungry, so we're going to have to go now. We're going to leave you guys to talk about your favorite food movies and what challenges you think people had to go through to make them. But for English for You, I'm Seb.
I'm Chickling.
And we're off to get lunch. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Food stylists make tasty photos their bread and butter. While food styling for photos is one game, food styling for film is another. Often, when a movie needs to have large amounts of food in the background, the film crew will use fakes. These are normally made out of plastic or foam. However, at some point, an actor has to bite into a slice of real pizza. When that happens, The audience's mouths need to water. To create this effect, food stylists use a number of creative techniques and substitutes. Ice cream, which quickly melts, is often replaced with balls of butter covered in sugar. Fake oysters are made out of pudding and food coloring. When food stylists aren't thinking of clever false food solutions, they're slaving away in the kitchen. Cameramen often need to take the same shots hundreds of times. That means if you're asked to make a cake for a movie, you're not making one, you're making 50. Whether you're taking photos or making movies, food styling is both stressful and hard work. One thing it'll never be is a piece of cake.
Vocabulary Review.
Style. Harry styled his sister's hair beautifully for the big high school dance. Fake. This painting is a fake. The original one is in a museum in Paris. Fake. Judging by the fake smile on Rosie's face, I think something has upset her. Foam. The foam couch was so comfortable that Jerry fell asleep as soon as he lay down on it. Effect. The boss's encouraging speech had a positive effect on the workers who had been worried about the company's future. Technique. This painting technique is very difficult and takes years for people to master. Solution. Ingrid thought of a clever solution to her business's money problems, and she reduced her costs by 20%.
智慧小补帖
Substitute. Oyster.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net